Okay, we're now live. Hi, Elliot Fishman here. I'm going to comb my hair or something better. I think I'm going to shave. Maybe I'll shave. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well. It's 26th of February. February is almost over, and hopefully the snow will be gone with February, and we'll be back to nicer weather. It's in the 40s here. Most of the snow is melted, so life is good. Now, I picked the title RSNA 2026. You would say, why? Who cares about what's happening the end of November after Thanksgiving? That's a long way from now. But I think all of us in the mail got the RSNA request for abstracts. It is interesting. In the past, RSNA really got going in the wintertime. Usually it was a little bit earlier. The abstracts were due in April. They always picked April 15th when you had to do your income tax, but now it's a couple weeks later in May. It's a bit easier because RSNA isn't that important anymore. Less people go, less people talk about it, and let's be frank, these days no one seems to be thinking about academics. All people seem to be thinking about is getting through that gigantic stack of films that's sitting in front of them. The challenge these days is how do you balance education and academics with the workload? Your chairman will get fired if they don't have the films read. Look at things like what happened in Pittsburgh where they backed up 4 to 8 weeks. You speak to places everywhere. At the end of the day, they have hundreds and hundreds of CTs and MRs to read. They're paying people overtime. They're paying people whatever. But at some point, there's only so much people can read. And money's only one thing that drives people these days. It's not the only thing. The problem is if you're in private practice, maybe that's not a problem. You read a certain amount, and maybe you're reading a bit more than you want, and then you could burn out. So I think private practice groups, the big groups, are really conscious of trying to make the life easier for their attendings, because these days, for every one of us, there's 3 or 4 jobs available. And you don't have to move. You can just do teleradiology. You can work in New York, NYU, Northwell, many other places, Columbia, and you could be living in Hawaii if that's what you wanted to do. So the idea of moving is not necessary. And people will hire you, and if you're good, oh my God, people will hire you. And if you're fast, people will really hire you. And if you're accurate, oh my God, people probably would even hire you more. But it's really a challenge. So are you going to actually do any abstracts for RSNA? Have you actually written any papers this year? Have you had time to think about academics? Do you discuss academics? I know many places now are having problems with people remote giving resident conferences, right? Because they don't have enough attendings in-house, and the attendings in-house are being bombarded with multidisciplinary conferences, which I do like, but there's only so many you can do. Giving lectures, going over stuff with residents, all of which is important. Remember, there's a tripartite mission in no specific order: patient care, education, academic research. If you're only reading films, there's no sense taking a poor paying academic job. You'll never get promoted, because promoted, you got to write, you got to present. Academic institutions these days are cutting back funding, not the Mayo Clinic, but other places, which I won't mention. And then all of a sudden you can't go to meetings. If you can't go to meetings, you don't meet people. If you don't meet people, you can't do academics. You don't build up, you don't train, you don't learn how to present, you don't learn how to listen, you don't learn how to learn. All of these things many of us did for many years. It was a really good system. But that system seems to be under duress now. It's not only in radiology, it's in medicine, it's in surgery, it's in every part of every field in medicine. But you have your administrators who basically just want people to do more and more clinical work, make more RVUs, because the only thing they get rewarded for is a P&L statement. There's no P&L statement that says how many articles you read. There's no P&L statement that says how much teaching you did. And to an administrator, teaching and writing and all those other things is just totally a waste of time. Read the films. Watch my lips. Read the films. RSNA 2026. You'll see a lot coming out of Europe and China and Korea and every place else. You're going to see the constant decrease in stuff from the US, which has been going on in every journal. Now, it is true that in Europe and England, they are backed up. In China, they are backed up. Everyone is backed up. Everyone has a lot of work to do. But, look at the journals. The stuff coming from China, be it Taiwan or mainland China, the stuff coming from Japan and South Korea and the Netherlands and England and France. Hello, Philippe Soyer in France, Paris. It's really good stuff. Stuff from Australia and stuff from New Zealand. It really is good stuff. So it's not like they're not doing great things. You look at AI, a lot of the AI in medicine is from Europe. You look at the big AI companies, AI Doc is from Israel. It's a world spread apart everywhere, but how do you do it all? I don't know the answer. Everyone is challenged. We wrote an article about quiet quitting in JACR a few months ago. Many people have written me nice notes or stopped me in the hallway saying, hey, you're right. Because people just are going through the motions. It's really sad. I don't know what will change it, because I don't think anyone has a solution but generate more RVUs, because that pays for stuff. Now, if you went and you got rid of a lot of administrators, you wouldn't need to pay for a lot of stuff. But it seems to me, and probably seems to you, there's more administrators than ever, everywhere. They're paid more than ever, and they do less than ever. Half of them are remote. They don't even come in. All they do is say, read more cases, see more patients, do this, do that. Well, till the leadership in hospitals and medical centers really takes back control of the process, till the physicians are back in control and not having things run by administrators, I'm not certain you're going to have a really good solution. So, the ultimate revenge. Think about good stuff. Think about RSNA 2026. You have roughly 10 weeks to do your abstracts for papers or exhibits or other presentations. Do something. Even if you only do one thing, one exhibit, it's only 35 or 40 slides. It's not that hard. Getting accepted may be hard because a million people submit for those 35 slots, but do something. I think we can't give in. We can't say we have failed. RSNA is well over 100 years old. RSNA is an important part of what we do. It was the first meeting I think I went to. It was a meeting I went to many years. I ran the film panel. I got the Educator of the Year award there. I've listened to 1 million good talks, worked with people on exhibits and presentations. It is part of our culture, and we don't want that culture to disappear in this era, because once it disappears, I don't think it's going to come back. So, fight back, write a paper, create an exhibit, do something where you can say, I stand up, I want to be counted, academics is important, RSNA is important, and I am here. So with that, I'm going back and putting stuff together, and I'm not sure we'll see you at RSNA, but hopefully our exhibits will see you, and I'll be able to see your exhibit at RSNA 2026 after Thanksgiving. And with that, Have a great day.